my name is Megan and I am the sub-editor of Bookish magazine, and I'm here to talk to you today all about my love of books. So let's get started. So we're going to kick off by talking about what got me into reading. Now, I would say it's primarily just because I'm not good at a lot of things, particularly physical things, and I've always been a little bit of a homebody. I very much enjoy being at home, by myself, snuggled up in my bed under a blanket, rather than going out and doing something physical. That's not really me. So stemming off from that, naturally I kind of like things like books because it enables me to immerse myself into a whole new world, and it just gives me some alone time that I absolutely love. And at the same time, I also love to read for educational purposes. I am a really big science nerd. I absolutely love science and learning about the ways of the world and how things happen and how we came to be. It's honestly one of my favourite things. So to be able to do what I love and be alone and be all cozy with a cup of tea and some fairy lights and a good book, and to actually learn at the same time, it's just absolute bliss to me. The last book that I read was this. This is The Greatest Show on Earth by Richard Dawkins. He's a very famous scientist, and he is just such an eloquent writer. The way that he manages to put words on the page in a way that someone like me would understand. Now obviously the theory of evolution is quite a big deep theory, and there's going to be lots of scientific jargon and things like that, and I still want to learn, but I don't know all of this scientific jargon. But Richard Dawkins presents it in such a way that even I can understand it, and if I can understand it, anybody can understand it. It's an absolutely fabulous book that's illustrated with some pictures, which is always good when you've got a non-fiction book as well, because that helps to illustrate things a bit more. And this just screams to me science, which is something that just attracts me. It's like a magnet. Anything that I can learn and really delve into and just expand my knowledge of the world is absolutely amazing, because to me, we live in this really big world, this big planet, this big solar system, this big galaxy, in this gigantic universe, and I want to know as much as I can about it, but I don't always have the resources or the brain power to do that. But Richard Dawkins allows me to get in on it, just like all the top scientists, and he presents it so that I can actually understand it. And I cannot recommend this book more if you're a science buff, if you want to know more about how the world works, but you're a bit scared that perhaps you might not understand all the jargon. Richard Dawkins, The Greatest Show on Earth, this is the book for you. It's absolutely fabulous. Currently, I am reading The Book Thief. Now, I am so behind on the bandwagon with this one. This came out 10 or 11 years ago. There's a film. I haven't seen the film. I always make a point not to watch a film until I've read a book. And so that's what I did with this one, and it was about Christmas time when I was in Waterstones, and I decided to just grab this because I saw it and I thought I've heard lots of good things about it. I didn't start reading it until a couple of weeks ago, and it's taken me a little while just because I don't always have as much time as I would like to read it, but once I start I can't stop. I'm a little over halfway and I just can't even describe to you how phenomenal this is. It's absolutely amazing. The way it's written is beautiful. That's how I would describe it. It's a beautiful book, even though it's about Nazi Germany and it's narrated as if death was a person. It's not morbid, it's not as horrible and dark as you would think. It's actually slightly humorous in places, but it's also very grounding, and it really makes you think about the horrors of what's happened in times gone by. Even though this is a fiction, this would have been a reality for many people living in Germany and all over Europe at this time. And the way that it's portrayed in this book is just, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, and I cannot wait to finish it and watch the film and see how that compares. Even though the book's always going to be better than the film, I just think this is great, and I would really recommend this to anybody looking for a good, quite thick fiction book. It's quite a big book, but that's always good. So yes, that is what I would recommend. Now, my favourite book of all time is quite popular now, but back in the day when I got it a good few years ago, it was not quite so hyped about, and that book is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. This book left me with my mouth wide open. It was just absolutely phenomenal, the way that the plot just twists and turns, and you know, you really couldn't guess what's happening, and that's the thing I love about a book, when you turn a page and you don't know what to expect. A book that makes you think, oh my goodness, you know, this is one of those books that had me thinking about it when I was eating my dinner, when I was in the shower, when I was out and about doing whatever it is I was going to do that day. I was always thinking, what is going to happen next in this book? It was just absolutely astounding. So that is my favourite book of all time. The BBC recently did do a screen adaptation of it. Now, I was quite sad. That was not what I expected. Now, if you've seen that and thought, oh, maybe the book's going to be a little bit rubbish, no, ignore that. The book is a million times better than that was. So I would highly recommend this to anybody, and that's why it's my favourite book of all time. I really, really hope that you've enjoyed sitting down with me for a little while and learning all about the kind of books that I like. I would love to hear what books you like to read, so leave a comment below of your last read book, the book you're currently reading, and your favourite book of all time, and any recommendations that you have for the future for any books that I can read as well. Thank you, bye bye.